Intuition is a dangerous thing. Reality defies understanding. Reality defies understanding. Reality defies understanding. Last time, all of you went on a bit of a violent spree. And there were some tense shootouts, there were some tense negotiations around corners. You finished burning down that building, but most of the last episode was spent just taking people out of the picture. There was one of the researchers, the one who just kind of appeared out of nowhere, Dr. Klinger. She was dispatched by Hallow, and then you guys spent the rest of the time fighting and working around and avoiding this last security guard here, having tense conversations with him, trying to keep him from killing all of you. And then at the end of all of that, once medical attention was given out to some of you who needed it and all of that, as he held you at gunpoint as hostages, waiting for his employer to arrive, whoever that is, Hallow took an opportunity to take a shot at him and missed. So, we are going to immediately enter combat here. Can I get everyone's dexterity scores, please?
10.
11.
15.
10.
Was that 10 for Estia?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. So, Hallow just took the shot, and we'll consider this to have started from Hallow's initiative. So, Hestia, I will give you a moment here to react, as you are probably near the back of the car, and just to give a reminder of the situation, several of you are like in the car, in the trunk of the car, laying down, having like medical attention given to you. Hestia was performing that. Hallow had sort of walked around to the other side of the car, and the security guard is about 20 feet away with a rifle. So, what do? Do you scramble behind a car? Do you go for a weapon? What's your plan?
Can I, close the easy access door to this car?
Yeah, you can just close the door behind you and make sure that, at least you have a car door between you and the guy. Yep.
I think that's probably what I'm gonna do, because I'm not good with weapons, and we've got a lot of barely conscious folks in here.
Can you try to get to, the front seat to turn on the car?
Yeah, I can see about doing that.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to scramble through there and try to turn on the car, I'll allow that for your turn here. Your full turn will be getting up to the front seat, turning on the ignition, and you're not going to be able to drive the car yet, but you get the car started in that amount of time. And then before the guard even has a chance to react here, High Tide, your lightning-fast reflexes, you are waiting for this, only, well, something's gone wrong with High Tide. What is High Tide going to do?
At this point, I have a feeling my flashlight that is so dear to me is in my pocket. I'm gonna pull it out of my pocket, start clicking it on and off, and I'm just gonna start walking away from the car whistling.
All right. So, as this shooting commences, High Tide simply walks away. Hallow had leaned up over the top of the car to fire a shot. The guard is now going to shoot back. He already had his rifle raised. He was already aiming it. He's now just going to pull the trigger. That is going to be a hit.
Really?
Really? With a 6 on the die. So, this is a lethality rate. Hallow takes a bullet to the brain and simply falls to the ground, dead. An unlucky shot to the dome. Hunter, Hestia, and actually, Hestia, can you give me a sanity check, please? As you are not yet adapted to violence. You are under active gunfire. One of your companions just died. Okay, you're going to take 1 point of sanity damage from that, and you can check one of your violence boxes.
Alright, I'm
Hunter.
adapted to violence.
Alright. Oh, there is a process for that. Sorry to interrupt things here. And we need to do... Okay, roll 1d6. Alright, permanently reduce your charisma score by that much, and also subtract that amount from each of your bonds. While you do that, Hunter, there's an active gunfight going on all around you outside the vehicle. You are sort of barricaded up inside. What are you doing?
Probably drooling. I
Fair.
am adapted to violence, so I don't know that this... And it's still very loud, explosive noises.
Yep.
Probably gonna try to stumble out of where I'm being attended to and bleary-eyed look around for the gun that may still, well, I guess it probably wouldn't be in my hands because whoever is attending to me probably would have ripped it out of my hands. But try to find a weapon.
Okay. So we'll say for Hunter's turn, he scrambles and finds a weapon and gets out of the car, just opens the door and comes around the other side. Hestia, we're back to you. You've got the car started, but Hunter has wandered out of the car, High Tide has walked away, and Hallow is dead. Guard is raising his rifle to fire again. What do you do?
Let's see. Hallow's just dead. Is there any way I can, like, get a High Tide out of his thing? Like, just... Well...
Yeah.
I'm gonna
If
die.
Hallow, yeah. If Hallow had any chance to like say anything before the shot went out, it would be run.
Sense.
To delay my turn?
You can. Yes. Yeah, you can. What are you delaying for?
I'd like to see what, Hunter does with his turn. And then
What Hunter does
I
with his
will...
next turn?
Yeah, and then I will throw the car in reverse and drive away.
Okay. So you stay still. You see Hunter exit the car, and so at any time after someone else's turn, you can reinsert yourself back into the turn order, and that will be your new spot for your new turn.
Okay.
So, High Tide, your turn comes up. I assume you are simply walking away still. Is that accurate?
You would be correct, because I don't know how long the fugue lasts.
It does last a while. Part of it. So, if you're just walking away for a bit then, I think the guard is going to see Hunter exit the vehicle, and he doesn't get an aim bonus on this shot, but Hunter has a gun, so he's going to prioritize that.
Very fair.
That is another hit. Another lethality roll. Does not land the lethality roll, but that is 14 points of damage.
I'm at -9.
Okay,
Lethal anyway.
Yep. Hunter stumbles out of the car, grabbing a weapon on his way, and then this guard just sprays the rifle across his body. Just bullets riddle through Hollow's torso, one on his shoulder, one on one of his legs, and he just collapses to the ground, a bloody mess.
Died doing what he loved, getting shot.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
I think
I'm
this is
going
some-
to take my turn now.
Yep.
I am going to try and ram the car at this guard.
All right, give me a drive test. Woof.
Wow. I got lucky.
Extremely lucky. A 6 under 20. You throw the car in reverse, and as this guy is firing at Hunter, you take advantage of that distraction to hit him with the car. I don't know that there are vehicle damage things in the game. There are probably somewhere in the book. I'm going to improvise it here and say hitting someone with a vehicle at speed is a lethality rating. So give me a 1d100 roll, and we'll call this a lethality of 10%. Okay, so failed the lethality roll, but did 6 points of damage to it. So throw it in reverse. I'm sorry. If it's a lethality roll, the 0 counts.
No, that's just
10.
a 6.
So that's
16.
16
Ooh.
points of damage. So, because there's no 0 on a d10 normally. So,
Oh, yeah.
that is 16 points of damage as you throw it in reverse, and he slams against the back of the car, and maybe the trunk wasn't actually fully closed yet, and his head and neck hit the trunk, and you just hear a loud snap as that kind of clotheslines him from the side, and then you thump over him as he falls underneath the SUV's tires.
I
And
am
you're
leaving.
adapted to violence, so you don't need to make any roll for that. And yes, you probably squeal on out of there as High Tide just wanders away.
And probably sending a call to Grace.
Okay. Yes, Agent. Status report.
Place is cleared. I'm the only survivor. There's EMS and security's boss on the way. But there's nobody there now, and I'm out of ammo. I can't do anything for the structures.
Okay. You think the worst is avoided then?
The laser's still intact. Or no, the laser I messed up, but the structure for it is still there. And you're probably gonna want to detain me and check.
Understood. Are you the only one left, Agent, or are there more with you?
High Tide's in a fugue of some sort.
Do you think he's a threat? Do you think he's become a target?
Unclear. He's just playing with the flashlight and wandering around.
How much of a threat do you think he might be, Agent? What's your priority here?
If the thing that was at this site is in my head, it's also in his.
How confident are you that you can restrain Agent High Tide?
Not at all. I can run him over, but that's about it.
I will leave that up to your judgment, Agent. Bring him in alive or dead, and we will do an analysis. We'll make sure that you are not a threat either.
And I don't know what to do about the building infrastructure. The building with the source of the earworm, shall we call it, is gone.
Good.
The building that housed the laser itself is damaged, but the building's still intact.
You must act swiftly, Agent. They've got a head start on us. We'll be incoming to do cleanup work as well, but if you can take care of High Tide, take him out, take him in. That's your highest priority right now.
Was I going in roughly the same direction that High Tide was wandering off in?
We'll ask High Tide, would you have wandered like along the road, or would you literally be walking out like towards the edge of the dome in a random direction? Like,
Well, so how is the entire complex set up again?
So there is the main building and a little security hut outside it. There's the atrium and all the like receiver rooms and the splitter that are sort of separate from the main building and a good distance away. And then everything is inside a big dome, like a big concrete dome, that was sort of tucked into a clearing in the forest out here. So you're kind of just headed.
In a sec.
Nice. So you're kind of just headed. I mean, there's a road leading towards like the gate outside of the dome, or there's probably no longer like trees inside the dome because no sunlight. But there's it's kind of a mess in here.
I would probably be walking away from the car, and kind of away from the gunfire that was happening, so probably perpendicular to where it is. And if I run into the wall of the dome, I would start following it to the exit.
Okay. So we'll say, High Tide, you are like just feeling your way along this wall, just kind of wandering aimlessly, when you feel a sharp pain in your head as that awareness of something being wrong comes back to you. That feeling that reality itself is wrong, something is misaligned, something isn't quite connected like it's supposed to be. You're disassociating with reality, but at the same time, that feeling snaps you back to your senses a little bit. And you're no longer in a fugue. But please roll me a sanity test.
And I automatically fail.
We fail.
Because I have a minus 20%.
So, you're going to take 1d4 points of sanity. Unnatural, of course.
Sorry about that. A cat kicked water and it spilled onto the top of our PCs.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
That's a good thing to save. Are you okay now? Or are you still working on
Well, Ario's PC, but we'll see what happens.
it? Uh-oh.
It wasn't much water. Just panicky.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, High Tide, you snap back to your senses. You have that panicky feeling that reality isn't correct, and then you hear the sound of a car engine getting louder, tires squealing. Hestia, you see High Tide is up against one of the outer concrete walls of this place, making his way towards the gate.
Does he look somewhat conscious? Like if I come towards him and yell, "Get in the car," is he responding?
I'll leave that up to High Tide.
So you said I do get some of my senses back?
Yeah, you're coming out of it.
Alright, well, I just lost 2 points of sanity, so that triggers my megalomania.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no.
Excellent. So, Hestia shouts at you to get in the car. What do you do?
I feel like Have I gotten all of my senses back? Probably not.
I feel like you're kind of, it's like you're waking up from a deep sleep or something like that. Sure. There's like, yeah, you're kind of like half dreaming, half awake, not quite sure where you are, a little disoriented maybe, but you
So
do
I
have
would
agency
most
over
like-
how you respond. Yeah.
I would most likely respond and say, "Who are you? Where are we?"
Look, when you ride out of here, we need to go.
Did we have something we were supposed to do here?
Yep, and we did it. Now we need to get gone.
Okay. Did you hit the guard with the front or the back of the car?
The back.
All right,
Trunk's
so I probably
still
wouldn't.
open, with blood on it.
This sure seems safe as I get into the back seat.
Did you close the trunk?
Was I asked to?
No.
Then no.
Okay. As I watch him do this, I'll realize the back is open, and I will grab a change of spare clothes and use it to wipe the worst of the gunk off and close the trunk.
The car is all
And then-
packed up, and ready to go.
Yep. Get back in the car and leave this dome. Trusting that since I called Grace first, she would have mobilized fastest and will get everything taken care of before the rest of this stuff happens.
All right. I think we see a shot of your car, this black SUV that you all got in here with, leaving the gate just automatically closing behind you. Like the camera pans up over the trees as we see your car head down the road a ways away, and then the camera slowly pans back around to see the dome. It focuses on the dome for an uncomfortably long amount of time. And then we snap to inside the car with Hestia driving. Would you guys be driving in silence? Would you be making conversation? What's the vibe of the car? Some of you are probably covered in blood, wounded. You've seen a lot, but High Tide's in a bit of a mental state right now.
Oh, I would definitely still just be whistling, clicking my flashlight on and off. Probably laying across the two back seats.
I will be gritting my teeth, ignoring High Tide, and making sure I don't get pulled over.
All right. You soon, get onto main roads. And at one point you see, going in the opposite direction along the highway, just a caravan of about 10 black vans, all headed in the same direction, the direction you came from. But since you're on the highway, you're just another car out here. You've blended in. It's not like they've spotted you out on a back road somewhere. You make it out of there. At one point, I'll summarize some time here. Grace calls you back. She arranges a spot for you all to be picked up somewhere. It's a field out off of the highway somewhere. You take an exit into like a small town in the middle of nowhere. Like the kind of place with like a gas station and like a single like little store. That's pretty much it. And then you drive out to a field. A helicopter comes and picks you both up. And as you fly over this area, you happen to look through the window. We'll say High Tide is looking through the window of the helicopter. As they're trying to get your attention, these Delta Green agents are trying to observe you, trying to ask you questions, trying to probe your mental state, things like that. And High Tide will assume you're just kind of ignoring them for now, right? You're too busy whistling.
Oh yeah, whistling and still clicking that flashlight, and if they try to take it away from me, I will give
Perfect.
them a problem.
This entire time you've been driving, Hestia, entire time you've been flying, there's been this feeling, this anxiety that's followed you here. Something is still wrong. There's something that's wormed its way into your head. There's something you learned that you were not supposed to learn. My phone just started playing something without my permission. That's fun. So, there's this
Siri,
anxiety.
disrupt attention.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I just got jump scared IRL. It's great. So this anxiety bubbles up within you. It is never gone away. Something is wrong. You're not sure if it's something wrong with you, or if you learn something about the world you were never supposed to learn. A terrible truth about reality. You wish you could unlearn it, but it's too late. High Tide, you perhaps somewhere deep down also have this feeling, but you're ignoring it, right? You are having a megalomaniac episode, and you are a god to yourself, right? You don't care about anything. You know, you can do whatever you want because you're you, and like you've survived so far, so like it's been working, right? So you are ignoring all of these questions, you're ignoring this feeling, and as you look out the window, you happen to see that concrete dome in the forest. And there's a flash of a memory, of a vision you saw before, many times perhaps, of shadows dancing around that dome. And as you come back to your senses after seeing that vision, you see, in the darkness, now late at night, those shadows are around that dome, and you can see them because the dome is cracking open. Something is coming out of the dome, something is emerging. A shadow filled with stars reaching like a tentacle, reaching with awareness, but really grasping blindly about with no pattern to it, emerges from the dome. Reality starts to bend and twist into the dome. A hole in the sky is torn open by the tentacle. Reality begins to collapse in on itself, and before you even realize that your own awareness is being absorbed, it's too late. And suddenly, all of you snap into an awareness of a different time. Hestia and High Tide, you are in the engineering room, and Dr. Takagawa is just waking up on the couch. He's gasping for air. He's calling for water. He's like, water! Please, water. Paolo and Hunter, you two are in the room with Dee and the computer programmer, Jingfei Qiang, who is typing away on the keyboard constantly. You all remember everything that just happened to you. Everybody, please refill your hit points and willpower points. And those of you that died are going to lose 1d10 sanity.
Hey Jordan.
Yeah.
My monitors are not working at the moment.
Uh-oh.
I am so sorry everything is going wrong.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, I can still hear you, which is great.
Okay.
I can't see Foundry.
I can do stuff for you.
Okay.
I would suggest, though, if things are going that wrong, that perhaps you turn all your electronics off that may or may not have been affected.
Yeah. In that case, I'm gonna turn my computer off. I'll probably have to join in from my phone for a sec.
That's okay.
And hope things will turn back on properly.
I would dry them out thoroughly is what I would do.
just wait until tomorrow.
Yeah. If like any amount of water got in there, this is a turn it all off and like really seriously dry it out. Like you may need to remove components and dry them or something. Like if an amount of water actually got in there, that's which is really any amount of water.
Get some fans blowing onto it to help it dry off.
That sucks. I didn't realize it was that much water. Well, in the meantime, those of you who are still here, we'll start with High Tide and Hallow. Are either of you need any more adjustments to your sheets, or do you guys have that?
So did we all die?
You and Hestia did not. You two escaped, but the reality reset, whatever. Something happened that caused you to go back in time. So, your willpower and your hit points are restored, but during High Tide, both lost a lot of sanity, it looks like.
I'm now -1 sanity.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's
okay.
great. This is about to go perfectly. I'm glad I started using the squiggly lines again.
Yes. This is perfect then. Hunter, we're going to start with you here. As you come back to your senses here, you remember dying, Hunter. This is not the first time you've died and come back, but this time you saw something. You saw the sky get torn open many times before. You saw the thousands of times you have been through this reality. You've seen how reality has shifted and changed and been molded by your actions and the actions of others. The way reality has been twisted and the way it's like a liquid that can be manipulated. You've seen the way reality is fake. You've seen the way you've awoken screaming multiple mornings as you've come to this realization in the past. Hunter, I'm going to leave you in control of your character, but you are now fully insane. You do not believe that reality is real because you have seen beyond reality. You have seen a blind, dumb god sitting on a black throne, dreaming reality into an existence. You know that your mind is but a ripple in an ocean, a tiny current that is only spun about because of the workings of other larger forces. You wonder if your free will is really your own, or merely the downstream effects of a larger entity. You wonder if that larger entity is merely a downstream effect of another larger entity, going up and up and up the chain. You realize your own insignificance to a massive degree, and you know none of this matters. Your own death doesn't even matter. There's nothing you can do that makes it matter. You are fully, truly out of touch with reality. So keep that in mind as you roleplay your character. Good luck. Thumbs up.
Thank you.
So that is what Hunter comes to the awareness of as he stands here next to D, the strange computer system that keeps playing these sounds at you. Hallow, that is where you come to your awareness as well, although you are still at least clinging to some sanity.
Clinging is definitely the right word. Ah. Oh. Oh. Ah. Oh. He's just kind of deep breathing. He's never experienced his own death before, not consciously.
You notice, Hallow, with your pretty significant alertness, that D is different this time. Dr. Xiang is the same, but D has a speaker system now, microphone attached, all of these other things, a completely different looking piece of technology. And as you have a minor moment of panic, as you realize, everything, all the memories you had previously come back to you in this iteration of reality, however all of that works, D speaks to you through the speakers. Says, I have processed a new version of the signal. Would you like to hear it?
No. Save that for later. It's not time.
Jingfei looks up at you. She asks, "Oh, what do you mean? Isn't it incredible that Dee has done this kind of analysis? Shouldn't we look into this? I've never seen her do this before."
No, we're not doing that anymore.
Oh,
No,
We've done.
we're done here. So Hunter's been. How much memory does Hunter have of the thousands of times?
I think Hunter perfectly remembers every iteration of reality. There's thousands of them.
What can Hunter make D do?
Ooh, that is an excellent question. We can freestyle that. I think, Hunter, you've seen D in many forms before, and in some of the earliest iterations of reality you've seen, D was a very simple computer system. But now D is obviously extremely complex. From some of your interactions with D in previous iterations of reality that most of the server infrastructure surrounding D here, this server rack and all these crazy motherboards in fairly standard looking orientations, are a facade, and that D is a structure within all of that. You know that D, in its later iterations like this, is less of a programmed machine and more of a self-reprogramming machine, something close to a general intelligence. So, what can you make it do? It's really what you can convince it to do.
Hunter, what do you mean?
No, this is all just so stupid. We're not doing this anymore. We're done here.
What do you mean? D, go ahead, play the signal, D. It's fine.
Do not play the signal, D. D, recompile new signal.
He's shocked by your sudden sternness and kind of backs away from the keyboard a little bit. D responds to you. I cannot do that without showing you the signal.
Hallow will hum the tune back at D. Well, first we'll say, accept new parameters, and begins humming.
Aha, okay. Excellent. This is a closer approximation than I have gotten. I have processed a new version of the signal if you would like to hear it.
No.
Hold on to that signal, D. It will be useful later. New data incoming. Wait for that.
Can I make
Very well.
D only listen to me and not listen to anybody else?
I think you can. I think you can say a series of words that sounds like an activation phrase to someone, and D just completely changes personalities. It becomes much more robotic.
Alright. I am going to kill Zhang Fei and then say the activation phrase.
Alright, you reach up, wrap around her neck, quick snap. Hallow does not need to roll for that, neither of you do. You say a bunch of words that sound completely nonsensical. He says, "Maintenance mode activated. How can I help you?"
Factory reset.
Factory reset in progress.
We're leaving. We're done here.
We have to destroy the dome. I'll take care of the guards. We haven't made any noise yet this time.
Do what you feel you need to. I think we're done. I'm going.
Hunter, the dome cracked. We have to destroy the laser.
Do I think there's still danger if D's been overwritten and can't be of use to them anymore?
I think you would think danger is a bit of a foreign concept to your current mental state, but will the chain of events lead to reality resetting again? Yes.
Okay. Alright. We'll get it taken care of.
Let's get this body stashed. We don't want any of the other researchers to find her. And at that, Hala will drag Zhengfei's body kind of outside, out that back door in that room. Because he thinks there's reason to believe that nobody's going to be going to look like behind where the outside generator is at this point. Like he's just going to try and shove her in behind there somewhere.
Okay.
Nobody else was outside until we started making a lot of noise anyway, so.
Yep. That makes sense. You get the body out there, just tuck it away. And I think with that, we're going to snap back to the other room. For High Tide, Hestia appears to be gripping her head at the moment, stuck with something a little bit more affected by this change in reality, as her sanity is a little bit more intact than yours. So this is impacting her quite thoroughly. But as you come back to your senses here, you remember everything that's happened. You don't have the same level of realization that Hunter did, but you remember at least everything we've played through in this, actual TTRPG session, right? Your character continuity remains the same. And as you're in that office and Dr. Takagawa is waking up, he reaches out a hand towards you, Hunter, and with eyes that you can tell can't see anything as they search around the room, he somehow still manages to lock eye contact with you. You can tell there's no awareness there, there's no actual contact, but he grabs your hand with his own, and he says directly to you, You remember too? And as he touches you and says those words, a stream of memory flows into you. You do remember, High Tide. You remember coming to the array at night, sent in a hurry after a call from one of the array staffers caught the attention of Delta Green. This was many iterations ago. Everyone here was already insane, murderous. They were killing each other. Then something broke through, something vast, black, shapeless, and mindless, but alive and potent. It ripped a hole in the sky over the array. Thunderous blasts and shrieks of power answered the feeble pulses echoed by D, hummed by the staffers. These were tiny drops in the bucket compared to the music pouring through. The thing in the sky swept out and absorbed everything. Something you saw very recently. And then you came awake screaming. And then you returned to the station. It all went wrong again. You awoke screaming. You returned. It went wrong. You awoke screaming. You returned. It went wrong. Hundreds of iterations of this you have now seen. Hundreds of iterations of other events throughout this campaign, other Delta Green operations you've been on. You do remember, just as Takagawa says. How do you respond to that, High Tide?
Hold on. So Jamie Campbell is in the room with us right now, correct?
Yes. Jamie Campbell and I think Evan Kozak.
Okay, I thought Evan came in later.
He might have come in later. In this version of reality, he's here.
All right, well, that's fine. I'm just gonna, at the top of my I'm gonna look at Dr. Takagawa and just say, yes, I do remember. And then I'll turn to Dr. Campbell and at the top of my lungs say, why would you do this?
What?
Are you ignorant? Do you not see them?
Ignorant? How dare you?
How dare you? As I walk out of the room and I'm going to start walking to the array.
She's like trying to be indignant at that, but she's like shaking as she raises a hand up to her head, clearly affected by this and in denial. You exit the room. Hestia appears to be disassociating. So we'll go back to maybe you exit the hallway and see Hollow dragging a body outside with Hunter. And so the three of you have met up.
I am here. I just muted so that it wouldn't echo feedback.
Okay, you're good then. So, yeah. Dr. Takago woke up.
Hestia can still be disassociating. That is,
Yeah.
This is her first time through any sort of time loop.
So we'll say then High Tide had that breakdown, ran out of the room. Hestia, what do you do?
Turn around and follow him?
Alright. You exit the room. The four of you have now met up. What do you do?
Is the body still in the hallway being dragged out?
I think you just catch it, like the tail end of it being dragged out into the back. Yeah.
Alright, cool, because if it was still being dragged out, I would have gone back in to distract Dr. Campbell more.
Yeah.
And probably just saw like the feet getting dragged out the door.
Exactly.
And at this point, I would start walking towards the other two in Dee's room and just say, you remember too? This is ridiculous. This is insane.
There's nothing to remember.
But there's everything to remember.
That's what I said.
Okay, existential crisis aside. I see why you guys were all so weird the first time we met. What do we do now?
It doesn't matter. What do you want to do?
Would I notice that D is different this time? Because I was communicating, or
Yeah. See that the whole terminal setup there is a little different, right? Speakers and stuff attached to it.
would I have, in the hundreds of iterations that I've seen, would I have seen anything like this?
No. This one's different. There's new. This is like an evolution of a previous thing.
I would just kind of point to it and say, well, that one's new. I've never seen one like that before.
One of the doors to the room opens and one of the researchers enters. It was a researcher that one of you saw outside the generator before. A Dr. Black, who simply shot the generator's fuel tank and then was quickly dispatched by the rest of you. Clearly insane already, but this time he appears to be holding himself together better. But when he sees you all in this back room, he does a bit of a double take, as he's just kind of walking around with a clipboard, very curiously looking around, wondering what all the shouting was about. But as he enters the room, he kind of sees you all and drops the clipboard and does a double take, like, "Oh, sorry, have we met before? I
Yes.
feel like I've seen you." So, oh, okay. Are you guys local?
No.
Are we Department of Energy in this one? I don't know at this point.
I assume you're from the Department of Energy. That's what your badges say. Yeah.
I would kind of look down at it and go, it would seem we are.
Are you okay?
I think at this point, Hallow comes back in and says, "None of us are okay.
Oh,
You're not okay. We're not okay. Campbell isn't okay. The guards aren't okay. Well, they might actually be kind of okay. If you've heard the song,
going
you're
to
not
be.
okay."
the song. The kind of stops. His eyes start to widen a little bit as he's clearly starting to think about things.
It is infecting us. It is in our heads, and we can't get it out. We have to get it out, or we're all liabilities.
I mean, it just keeps playing over and over again. Either you kill us or we kill all of you, and it's the same thing over and over again, just repeated.
He picks his clipboard up off the ground with a shaky hand and then kind of clutches it to his chest. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't. But even as he says that, he starts to tap with his fingers on the clipboard, and it's a very familiar pattern.
What do you want?
What?
What do you want to happen?
That's
Do you
kind of a
want the
broad-
sky to rip open? Do you want
What?
to
No.
live?
Yes.
Do you want to get lunch?
Yeah.
Do you want to get
well,
dinner?
It's a little late for lunch, but
Do you want to wake up tomorrow morning in your own bed? Or do you want to wake up here, now, right now, this very moment, tomorrow? Except it's today. That's what you're playing with.
what? I don't. What? He keeps on tapping away on his clipboard. It clearly, like, as you guys are bombarding him with these questions, he's getting more stressed, and he's just like no longer able to resist. He starts to hum the song as well. Everybody, give me a sanity check. Who is not already insane?
Do I believe
Can
I
you
had
handle
minus.
that, Jordan?
Yeah, I got you.
I believe my minus 20 was because my willpower was 1, so I don't have minus 20 anymore? Okay. But I still have a low chance of passing.
I'm going to break his neck too.
Okay, he starts humming. Everybody who failed, 1d4 plus 1 sanity loss. 2 sanity loss for everybody who failed.
Subtractive, like, and the charisma damage still there?
Yes. We'll say that's still there. 'Cause
Okay.
You are adapted to violence still.
Can I project this onto whichever of my bonds has the highest number still?
Yeah. Christina.
I'm going to project this on Hunter.
Fair.
Only able to
Okay.
project 1 point onto Christina.
And only one onto Hunter, which is
Okay.
okay. 'cause I don't have a
What
lot of
was
willpower
the
anymore.
total number?
It's 2.
So you take 1 point, Sam.
Okay. I think that puts me at a breaking point, if I remember correctly.
Yes, exactly at a breaking point.
Lovely. What happens now?
You choose a new thingy.
Okay.
We
What
have.
do you suggest, given that this is my first time in a time loop and a lot of their cryptic comments are suddenly making a lot more sense from our previous opera?
Well, megalomania is on the menu, of course. There's dissociative identity disorder. There's, I think you already have a sleep disorder, maybe? That's one of them. Paranoia.
I'm not sure. Honestly, I can't remember what Hestia has and what Hematite had.
So there's fugues, megalomania, depersonalization disorder, amnesia. Fun.
Hmm. I am really indecisive right now. If you want to pick one that would be narratively interesting, you're welcome to.
You know what? Let's go with megalomania because I think that's funniest.
And
Okay.
speaking of that, mine just got triggered again.
Woo!
Oh, lovely. So does that go through right now, or like do I immediately suffer an acute episode, or is that like the next time?
You do not immediately suffer an acute episode, but you give it to you now. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right. So you have megalomania now.
Lovely.
Okay. So this researcher is dead on the floor. You've got another body to deal with.
Hala begins the process of hiding this one. Probably stuffing him behind a couch at this point.
Okay.
I think there's couches in this room.
You find a couch this time. There's a couch in this reality.
Nice.
So,
Is this just how we're gonna do things this time?
It doesn't matter.
I mean, how do these idiots think they can do anything here? They always do it wrong, and it leads us back here.
Because they're idiots. They have no idea what they're playing with. They've been through it time and time again, but they still do it. The only thing we can do is kill them, and then, I don't know, maybe ourselves. But we can't have the guards interfere again. The guards threw everything off course last time. We have to destroy the dome. We have to shut off the laser. We have to rid ourselves of this mimetic infection. Fuck, I want to go home.
Then
GM,
let's go home.
yeah.
we haven't made a call to the blind dude's family this time around yet, have we?
Correct.
Cool. Do I have my phone on me?
Oh, yeah.
Do I have signal?
We'll say for the purpose of this, sure.
Okay. Should I just call Grace and tell her to wipe this thing? Would that lead to a reset?
Oh, Grace on what? Sorry?
Tell her to wipe this whole thing. Would that lead to a reset?
Do I remember it leading to a reset at any point?
Hunter probably does. He bombed it once.
I can say, Hunter very distinctly remembers being a pilot dropping bombs on this place. And clearly, reality has reset a few times since.
Bombing will lead to a reset. Everything will. The only question is what we want to do.
Let's go into the dome. That's where they're contacting this thing from. There must be something else there. Whatever channel they're
you
using to
insist.
contact. We need to interact with it directly.
Let's head to the dome.
You guys head out of the building. We will see you all leave through that door, and the camera will simply linger on the door for about 5 seconds. That is where we will end this week's episode.